Feminism is a female supremacy movement. Agree or disagree?
Completely disagree.
Tell me why.
Well, first of all, I think like feminism as a movement has become.
So, what I actually liked about this interview was that she was very open minded. And what I don't enjoy is coming into a conversation and just feeling like talking to someone is, there's no point, like it's completely lost. And what I liked about her is that even though we disagreed, we still could have a productive conversation and, maybe even find a little middle ground.
More of a movement for white women. Like it doesn't really like include women of color and things like that. But I think like saying it's a female supremacy movement, I just don't think that's true.
You don't think that women only complain about double standards when they don't benefit them? So, for example, we always talk about how women aren't in the 1% of like income, but we don't talk about how women don't do any of the hard jobs.
What's a hard job?
Bricklaying, plumbing, electricity, oil rig.
But are people allowing women to do those jobs?
Yeah.
But it's also, you have to take into like consideration the genetic differences between men and women when it comes to jobs like that, like hard labor jobs like that.
Right, so we're only talking about equality when it doesn't benefit us. So, what is a right that I don't have in 2022? What's holding me back as a woman?
Abortion?
It's legal up to 6 months in the UK.
Around the world it's not.
Okay, so why, even with that, right, men don't have the right to not be fathers. So that's a right that women have that men don't.
But a lot of men aren't fathers.
Is that your opinion on men?
Yeah.
That the majority aren't fathers?
I don't think the majority want to take the responsibility of being a father. And if they are a good father, they're praised more than they should be when it really is just, like no woman gets praised for being a mother.
On Mother's Day?
There's Mother's Day, there's Father's Day.
But even on Father's Day, like women, single mothers will say their mother, like they'll celebrate themselves on Father's Day. But you don't really see fathers doing that on Mother's Day.
Because they're not being fathers.
But even with you, right? Like I sense a slight disdain for men because and you're kind of proving my point.
Right.
Because when I talk to girls with this mindset, like they want to be better than men or they think that women are better than men. Because
I think in a sense, yeah, actually, I do think women are better.
So you kind of agree with the side.
Maybe, yeah. Now I'm like changing my mind.
Yeah, because like most of the time.
But I think the way like me reading the sign at first glance, like it makes it seem like it's a negative thing.
It is.
I think
it's sexist.
I don't know.
You don't think it's sexist to think you're better? You don't. Okay,
I think the world is like already very like sexist towards like women.
Okay.
And I think because of all the sexism that has happened up till now, women want to be better than men. Because I mean, honestly, like women should take revenge. So
I have a question. How were we oppressed historically when we didn't have to fight in wars? So men have protected us throughout all of history.
But who are they protecting us from? Like when men say they're protecting us from like whatever, who are they protecting us from?
Evil people.
Usually it's other men.
Yes, you're right. But even, like, that's true, right? Men do commit more crimes, and, like, I'll give you that. They're more disagreeable. But the thing is, like, it's because women can't. Like, I'm honestly, when I do street interviews, I'm not afraid of men. I'm afraid of women. I'm afraid of getting punched in the face by a woman.
That's also because you're holding up a sign.
But I'm saying if I hold a sign that most men disagree with, they don't treat me like that. Because sometimes I'll hold up signs like the opposite just to get people talking. But it's only women that treat me like that.
I mean, I think that's a very specific situation. I would say in general, like, walking in the streets, I'm usually scared to leave my apartment because of men, of how, like, other men make me feel. And I think, like the way, like, the thing is, like, even when it comes to things like rejection and things like on a night out, like, if I'm kind of scared to reject a man in fear of him hurting me, like, physically or like physically hurting me, men don't have to worry about them. If they get rejected, it's just like embarrassing for them. They don't have to fear for their lives.
So there's two things. So the first part you talked about walking home alone at night. Why are you entitled to security in a dangerous city? So men can't walk home alone at night. They could get mugged. Men are more likely to be victims of a violent crime than women. So
I've literally been almost punched, like, walking late at home at night unprovoked. So it's like,
right,
like I don't think you can compare I don't think you can compare like specific situations from each other. And like I would say, like, as a whole, it's just more scary for women to like leave their homes and like not expect something bad to happen to
But
them.
I'm saying why when men are more likely to be victims of a violent crime. Like I think can I finish?
Like,
Can I
other men? You know what I
Did you-
mean?
did
Like,
you-
it's not women
not-
committing those crimes.
I mean, Amber Heard, look at what happened.
okay, yeah, that's one situation out of like.
So in most domestic abusive relationships, both people are hitting each other. So it's not one-sided. Like both parties are hitting each other. And men are more likely to be victims of one-sided abuse, where the woman's hitting the man and he's not hitting back. Because men face consequences in society, women don't. Men get 3 times the amount of sentencing for the same crime as women. We get away with shit. I mean, even did you hear about that car accident? That car accident. Can I finish?
I don't think women of color have like the same privilege as
Okay.
white women to get away with like the same shit.
Even in LA, that girl wasn't white. The girl in LA that just caused that car crash. She was like Hispanic or something. And she killed let me finish. She killed 6 people and she walked.
Probably white passing, 1. 2, that's like one situation out of many situations that white women have gotten away with. Like again, like feminism and like the privilege that women have, it's not the same. Like white women privilege, like they have more privilege and they benefit more from certain things that women of color don't.
Do you believe in pretty privilege?
To an extent, yes.
Who's more privileged? An average white girl or like Willow Smith?
An average white girl for sure.
You think more than Willow Smith?
Yeah, 100%.
Oh, sorry. She was born into a 1% family.
If Willow Smith was not Willow Smith, if she was just a regular girl.
No, but she's not. So,
yeah, but I'm saying.
So we're not. Let's not talk about if. Let's talk about what is.
But you can't compare yourself to Willow Smith. But if you compare like you to me, like you do have more privilege than I do, or my friend does. Like
really, I don't think so.
I think
you guys. I would say you guys are both prettier than me. You probably have pretty. Like I think you have more pretty privilege.
But like pretty privilege aside, like. And a lot of pretty privilege, like people look at things like skin color, like race, like I'm darker skin, like I'm not gonna benefit the same way you do.
Really, I don't care about that stuff. Like it's
but a lot of people do. We're conditioned to like believe these things.
Which people?
Everyone, society, like racism has happened for so many years, colorism has happened for so many years. It's not gonna go away overnight.
Do you feel like everyone here you get more privilege? Like I get more privilege than the way they look at us?
Look at us how? Like, how are they looking at us?
Because you were saying that everyone looks at you differently based on, like, skin color.
A lot of people do, yeah. A lot of people will look at me and you differently. Like, we don't get the same privilege.
And I'm saying, how do you know it's not just you? Like, your personality? Maybe they just don't like you.
It's definitely not just that. I can tell you that for sure. Yeah.
Maybe.
I mean, maybe. But I don't
I'm saying.
Yeah.
So, but going back to it, like, the point is, like, women get away with stuff, like, all the time in society and no one cares.
Men get away with a lot of stuff, too. Like,
Not necessarily. Men go to jail all the time for crimes they didn't commit. A girl could say that someone raped him and get him kicked out of school. Like in the U.S., there is a case, and I'm just giving you an example, and it doesn't mean it's the only example. I'm just giving you one of many, right? So there is a case where a woman said that a dude assaulted her.
Yeah.
And there's video evidence of her bringing him back to the dorm, pulling him, like so clearly hitting on him. He gets kicked out of school. That stuff doesn't happen to women. It only happens to men. And men really aren't taken seriously when they're victims of a crime.
That I can agree with. Like, men can't speak up as much because of, this whole concept about men have to be masculine, they have to be brave. So, to an extent, I, agree that men don't come out or aren't confident enough to speak out about the issues they face, but I wouldn't say that women get away with more.
Even if they get 3 times the same sentencing men get 3 times the same sentencing for the same crime?
I mean, I don't know much about it. Like, I would have to, read more.
So if that was true, would that change your opinion a little bit?
Maybe a little bit.
It makes you think a little bit,
Yeah, it definitely makes you think a little bit.
And even with abortion, women are incentivized to trap men. So, the NBA issues statements say it's not flush your condoms.
Right. But
because
wear condoms.
no, they can't. No, they can.
Yeah.
They can. But what happened to Drake? Why is he putting hot sauce in it? And you get.
Wasn't true. That wasn't
I don't know.
true.
He posted a bottle of hot sauce, right?
Just wear condoms, I guess.
I'm saying it was true that many women were stealing them. Because why would the NBA issue statements every year saying flush?
Yeah.
Like that's the number one way NBA players go broke.
Well, then
And
I think then men should like choose to wear a condom if they don't want to get a woman pregnant.
No, but they can, and then the girl can still steal the condom. That's legal. So again, women like get away with shit. Okay, I've talked to people all the time on the street, right? Every day. I have met so many men come up to me and tell me stories of how a girl traps them.
That's wild.
And the
Can't
thing,
relate.
and yeah, I know I'm not trying to. I don't know who these. Yeah. And I'm not saying it's all girls, but I'm saying legally, like girls are paid out for bad decisions. If you're a single mom, you get money.
Right.
If you like every time we make a decision, there's a fail safe. So for example, like if I get pregnant, I can get an abortion. If a man gets a girl pregnant, he has no way out. He can't sign off his rights and say I don't want to pay child support for 18 years. Where women, we can say I don't want to be a mother. I can get an abortion. I can give the kid up for adoption. It's like all in our hands.
Yeah, because we're the ones carrying the child.
But what's harder, carrying a kid or raising it? Like dogs carry kids. I think we give ourselves a little too much credit.
Carrying and raising, and women do both of that.
No, men do too. Men do too.
Not to the same extent that women do.
And that's another thing. The reason it's not equal is because men don't win in court. Women get custody 80% of the time. So it's like, but feminists don't care about this. There's men that spend like thousands of dollars trying to go to court and they go broke. They lose their life savings trying to get their kids, and there's nothing they can do.
I mean, in those instances, like, see, that's a bit more complex to talk about because I don't know, like.
No, it's okay. I don't expect people. It's not the common narrative.
No, but it's but it's also like, you know, that depends from situation to situation. Like whatever that man's background is versus the woman, like whatever their history was, like whatever their relationship was, if there was like infidelity involved, like all these things play factors. So it's like it really depends from situation to situation.
But do you think
men should have the same chance of, you know, being a father and being able to raise their kids and having custody over their children?
Would you support a financial abortion so men can say, like, let's say I get pregnant tomorrow, right? And the dude that knocked me up says, I don't want anything to do with that kid. I don't want to pay child support, can sign off my rights. It's the same way I get to not be a mother. Would you support that?
If a man said,
yeah, he could sign off his rights and not pay child support. Like the same way if I want to get an abortion, the men have no say. It's my body, my choice. So would you say it should be equal?
No, because they're not the ones carrying the child. Like they're not. Yeah.
But see, this like further proves my point. Like we want freedom without the responsibility. So we want to be paid out for bad decisions.
I don't think that's the case. I think it's just. I think you can't compare like what a man goes through to what a woman goes through. Genetically, we are different. Like we do. Like our anatomy's different, like genetically we're different, we're just made differently. Mm-hmm. So it's like we're never gonna be equal in a sense, but I don't think like I don't know.
Do you think we should be equal under the law? Like, you know, I understand like men and women are different, but under the law shouldn't we be equal?
I think so. Yeah, we're all humans, but yeah, then again when it comes to stuff like abortion and having kids, it's just a little bit more tricky, I'd say.
But you don't if you want it to be equal under the law, you still would stand on no financial abortion.
I don't know. Like,
okay, if
I mean, if I get like knocked out by a guy and he's like, I don't want to pay, like, I don't want to, you know, I don't want anything to do with this child. I don't know if I'd want to have that child if like my baby daddy's not ready to like support us and like, you know what I mean? Like carry that.
Yeah, but you get the choice. You know, that's the point. Yeah. But like feminists want the freedom without the responsibility.
I do understand what you're saying. Like it does make me think for sure.
And even like if we're bad with money, there's women's shelters. There's not men's shelters. You know, men are just homeless.
Right.
So it's kind of like I think like women don't really know how privileged we are in general.
Yeah. Much to think about.
Yeah. No, I like honestly, you've been a good sport. A lot of people come in very aggressive, and so I really appreciate you coming in and like.
I appreciate this conversation. It definitely made me think. I think I'm definitely still pro women.
It's okay. You can. Yeah, it's
I
fine.
support women's rights, but most importantly, I support women's wrongs. So that's how I'm gonna end my.
Yeah. Nice to meet you.